Guys, what's going on, man? Welcome to the second episode of Sports at Night. Yeah, that's right. We're back.
Wait,
baby.
was that peace or was that?
That was two fingers.
That was the two.
But
Yes.
I won't peace this time though, man.
For sure, no doubt.
Well,
Peace.
Will's not here, so we got this.
Yeah. There's more peace without Will Strahan.
That being said, yet again, I'm here with Jevon Superman Miller and new guest here, Josh Hale. And
What's up, guys?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on?
The man.
But guys, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in here. The whole signing of Matt Stafford, he's got the richest contract in NFL history. Does he deserve it? Josh.
I'm going to go with a big no. He has been in the league for how long? This will be his seventh season? Sixth?
He was number one pick in 2009.
2009. Mm-hmm. So this would be his eighth season, start of his eighth season. Mm-hmm. And can you tell me how many playoff games he's won?
Ooh.
He's been to two and lost them both.
Lost them both. So you're telling me that he deserves to get paid more than a Drew Brees, more than a Tom Brady, more than, I mean, even Russell Wilson. Look, I understand that Matthew Stafford was the number one overall pick. I understand that he's been a decent quarterback. It's not exactly 100% his fault that the Lions have not been a perennial winner, but
Ex-Barry Sanders.
a lot of the blame is on him. I mean, he's the quarterback. People are going to look at the coach and then the quarterback. And he is not producing playoff wins, not even a wild card win. So I would say absolutely no, he is not.
What about that win against the Cowboys in 2014?
What? I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute.
They
They did. They lost that game,
Yeah.
didn't they? Oh,
and a lot of people with that want to
right.
talk about the flag that was picked up. Remember the pass interference that was called on Anthony Hitchens?
Okay.
And ended up where the flag was picked up?
Yeah.
But the play was being reviewed for what felt like an eternity, and then they finally decided to pick it up.
I do remember that.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of Detroit fans were
Very angry
A lot of
about
Lions in a huge uproar over that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Uproar.
yeah.
Nice.
See what I did there? These things come to me as we go, but
That was not rehearsed. None of this is rehearsed.
None of it is rehearsed
Clearly.
at all.
Clearly.
Not at all. Yeah. We're winging it.
totally. Do you have any more to go off of? On Stafford?
If you compare what Matthew Stafford's done to like I was saying, like a Russell Wilson, who was picked way later in a draft,
third round.
and how many Super Bowls has he been to?
He's been to two.
And he's won one.
Yeah.
And how many playoff games has he won? I mean, probably upwards 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very clutch. Very clutch.
And Russell, I would rather have Russell Wilson as my quarterback than Matthew Stafford. I mean, I feel like, and then I saw an article that said that Matthew Stafford and one of his best friends from high school in Dallas, his high school friend is a Major League Baseball star.
Yeah. Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, and he's one of the highest paid players in the MLB.
Right.
And now Matthew Stafford is the highest paid player in NFL history.
Is that a coincidence?
I don't know, man. I wish
They
that
have
was
the same agent or something. We're going to have to look at that.
Todd. I wish that was our story. Like Todd Knight, Josh Hale, friends since 1987. Now the highest paid players in NFL history. Like, wouldn't that be great?
I'd be happy with the highest paid host and podcast.
I just want to say, because I hate to butt in on that, but I don't think you guys would definitely be the highest paid players.
Thanks, Jevon.
What are you trying to say?
I apologize about that, man. I just had to butt in there.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Word.
Jevon, what you got on the staff, man?
All right, first off, I love me some Matthew Stafford, man. Love a quarterback with a big arm. Powerful dude, man. You know what I mean?
He is powerful.
He
He's got
can
a
get
strong
that
arm.
ball down the field, and especially when you need them big yardages, he will do it. But do he deserve $27 million? I'm tired of all these quarterbacks making like $20-something million. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it, man. The reason why I say that, because now you're starting to make it like the quarterback is more important than the team. It takes a team to win Super Bowls, man, not just a doggone quarterback, man.
I mean,
One player just about now, and we're talking obviously about the quarterback here, draws almost a fifth of what the entire salary cap is.
Exactly.
You have 52 other guys to pay.
And these dudes are not winning Super Bowls, man. I'm sorry, they're not. You know why they're not? You know why they're not winning Super Bowls?
It's because the same 3 quarterbacks keep winning them.
Well, no, it's not even really that. It's because you don't have money to get what you need.
You're right. Yeah.
Look,
That's exactly right.
Think about this, right? Think about the Raiders, right? Well, I forgot how much Derek Carr makes, but he makes pretty good, right? He's making pretty decent, right.
And that's off of like 2 decent seasons.
Absolutely,
he shows a lot of promise.
He does. I like it. And matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about him later. I have him as a pick somewhere later, but we will talk about that later. But this is what I'm saying, right? They cannot fix their secondary because they got to pay him.
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at the Saints. They got to pay Drew Brees.
Right.
They can't. Now they are almost becoming the laughing stock of their division again. Because they're sitting there with what? Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay is emerging. They're going to mess around. If they don't get something fixed, they're going to be at the end of their division. You feel me?
Yeah.
You cannot keep paying these quarterbacks all this money and not put emphasis on the team. You know what I mean? The team is what's important to me. And that's my problem with these quarterbacks making all these millions. The great ones get Super Bowls. Peyton Manning took a $4 million cut, and guess what happened? He got a Super Bowl 50 ring. Tom Brady, as much as I hate to bring his name up, sorry, you Patriots fan. Anyway, Tom Brady takes a pay cut almost every year, don't he? Almost.
Yeah, I mean, as far as pay cuts, he's been the most generous in as far as I can recall.
Exactly. 5 rings. It's not all him. That's not all Tom Brady, for all you guys who want to think he's the greatest of all time.
I mean, he is the greatest of all time.
No, he's not.
He might not be the best, but he is the greatest.
Whatever.
And I am not a Tom Brady fan.
No. Okay, we will argue about that all day long, baby. Number 18, homeboy. Peyton, I got your back, yo. And I got the stats.
Peyton Manning is the best. Tom Brady is the greatest. Go ahead.
All right. Well, he got 5 rings. That's because he's not scared to give up a little money so he can get what he needs. And he doesn't necessarily need the best of the best, but he needs people that can do their job. And that can be coached by Bill Belichick, the greatest coach. And now I will give him that. The greatest coach to ever coach football.
He has 10 rings. He has 9 Super Bowl rings and a AFC Championship ring.
Exactly.
Or no, 8. I can't remember what it is. But he has enough rings to cover up all 10 of his fingers.
Yeah. And that's with that being said, let's stop paying these quarterbacks all this money.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of compliment a little bit of what you were talking about in regards to Brady taking less money.
Yeah.
And in order, sacrificing the financial end for more rings. Look at what Tim Duncan did in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did he take a pay cut so that they were to be able to, bring back guys like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, bringing in LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, just different things like that to be, sacrificing, a little bit of the financial end to be able to constantly be contending for a title year in, year out. That's something that is incredibly similar between the Spurs and the Patriots. Yeah. If you look back in really like at a 20-year history now, just about, you have the same exact blueprint in place for both teams, just in different sports.
Yeah.
But I'm going to swing back over to Stafford since that's what we were talking about here.
Yes, absolutely.
Looking at what is no franchise quarterback is going to get traded. That just does not happen. Right. And when it does, you're ransoming everything to do it.
Yeah.
But and then how often does a free agent quarterback be open up in free agency? How many times are they there for that? The last time I can even recall that happening was Drew Brees back in 2006.
Right.
And he wasn't really considered a franchise quarterback at that time because he had torn his shoulder up.
Yeah.
So
the coach did they let Peyton go too, though.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I mean, they let him go because of the neck surgeries and all that stuff.
And then the draft this year, guys. Detroit, at worst, is staring in the eyes of 6-10, 7-9.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. What happened with Dallas getting Dak in the 4th round, Russell Wilson in the 3rd round? Those are the exceptions. That's not the rule. So, anytime you have something like that happen, if you're going to have a realistic opportunity at a franchise quarterback in the draft, you're going to have to do pretty bad the previous year. Detroit's not going to do that.
Yeah.
So there's no better alternative. He's got arguably the best arm in the league.
Yes.
I think if you put he and Aaron Rodgers against each other and have them duel out for that, you're going to have a hell of a match on your hands. And some of the different throws that he can make, I mean, the sidearm releases and everything on the move.
He's definitely talented.
I mean, he's got ridiculous skill as far as his ability to throw the football.
And I think he's getting better now, too, that he doesn't have to worry about getting the ball to Megatron so much.
Well, that's the thing is that, a lot of people say, well, he's been successful because of Megatron, and I don't see it that way. Megatron was an unbelievable athlete.
Yes, he was.
That guy was a phenom coming out of Georgia Tech.
Yes.
But when you're that good, though, man, you demand too much attention.
Well, but that's the thing. He demands too much attention from the defense, so therefore the other receivers are going to benefit. So that's going to help the quarterback too.
Exactly. Because something to draw the coverage.
Yeah, to draw the coverage away.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has not always had a team around him to really allow for playoff success.
Right.
You had harped on that at the very beginning of the show. Guys, I mean, it takes a team to be able to win in the postseason. And I mean, while he's had some playmakers around him on offense, he's had a couple on defense here and there, kind of sprinkled in. But for the most part, they're not a very well-rounded team. I mean, and I like the Lions.
Sorry,
God bless them, but
sorry.
Oh, by the way, I know that you guys out there in the world don't know this, but his wife is a Detroit fan, by the way.
She is.
Yeah, exactly.
So watch what you say. So let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah, because Todd, man, oh my goodness.
Just look here. Lions.
It's the dog house for Todd tonight.
At least I have that to look forward to. Lions had to retain him, though. I mean, but I do kind of feel like he doesn't really deserve such a huge contract.
Yeah, he deserved. Bottom line is, he deserved a good contract, not a record-breaking, history-making contract.
So sad, man, that, we got an abundance of running backs. We got an abundance of wide receivers, but we don't have an abundance of great quarterbacks. No. We only have a few sprinkled here and there, and that's why they're able to get this much money. Mm-hmm. That is wrong. I don't know what's going on down there in the Manning camp or whatever's going on in all these other camps.
Step it up.
That's developing these quarterbacks. Let's develop more so they can quit getting all this bread. And that's all I got to say on that.
Okay, guys.
What's next, DK?
The next thing I want to talk about here is which rookie quarterback is going to have the most success. We were already talking about Stafford and everything and what have you, but I want to make a transition from his record-setting deal to this next batch of quarterbacks that just got picked up in this past draft.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of talk a little bit here.
Go ahead.
On that. Deshaun Ryer the Kaiser. All right?
Ryan the Kaiser.
Yes, exactly. Guys,
oh my God.
Browns, Ryer the Kaiser seems to have real potential. And Will had touched on this last week whenever he started talking about Joe Thomas.
Yes,
and
he did.
Because some of the different things that he was talking about.
I guess Will's a Browns fan now. Also, that was a Weird Al reference, if you guys were not familiar.
For sure, yes.
Go ahead,
definitely a shout out to Weird Al.
We love some Weird Al.
For sure.
Weird.
Also, while Chicago, I think, could have easily drafted him number 3 overall, I mean, San Francisco was laughing their way to the bank on that one.
Oh, I was.
Whenever with you being a 49ers fan, I know it's kind of hard to tell with the jersey that you have on.
That's a really awesome story why he wears Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And when I found that out, I felt really good about that.
For sure.
We'll get to that some other time.
Yeah, other time. Yeah.
But Mitchell Trubisky is clearly doing better than what a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
And he's obviously shown patience and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's got 2 good backs in the backfield to check it off to and not have to rely so much on having to throw the ball 30, 40 times to win the game. With Jordan Howard. And Jeremy Langford back there. But I do feel like Deshaun Watson with the Houston Texans has the potential to have a Dak Prescott-like impact. The city of Houston is absolutely galvanized right now, And I do want to absolutely give a shout out to all those that were affected by Hurricane Harvey and the biblical devastation that has taken place.
That is
over there. If any of you guys are able to make any sort of donation to help benefit the cause and the relief effort that's going on down there, I definitely would encourage you to do so. The monetary amount is completely irrelevant. Anything that you guys can do to contribute, do what you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Josh, on a somber note, I mean, I know you're going to be going down there as well. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about the quarterback situation, but also what you're doing.
Just real quick, I work at a news station here, a local news station here in Shreveport, and my next assignment, I'm going to be sent to Port Arthur, Texas tomorrow.
Which is where my dad was born, actually.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's almost completely underwater from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
And I'm being sent down there to tell stories, get footage, do live shots, and just bring awareness to what's going on down there. So it's going to be pretty interesting and challenging week for me, but I look forward to it. So
You're a good man, bro.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But as far as these rookie quarterbacks, Kaiser showed promise. Trubisky showed promise. The guy from the Chiefs, Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Is it Mahomes or Mahomes?
I think it's Mahomes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
with
it's
an M.
Mahomes.
He looked good too.
He does. But they will not let Alex Smith. They will not move Alex Smith to let him do his thing. And I hate that.
And I know you don't like Alex Smith.
I can't
but
stand him, dude.
Look, man. I have a history with Alex Smith
I know you
as a
do.
49ers fan.
I know you
and
do.
I will always have a special place in my heart for him.
He's not bad.
I know.
He's just not great.
Just think about what he went through in those first 5 years as a 49er. It was awful.
It
because
was.
I went through it too.
Yes, it was awful.
And the only good thing we had on our team was Frank Gore, and Frank Gore is my favorite 49er of all time.
Yeah. Big Gore. Yeah.
But, so, I would go, I don't think any of them are going to see success in the wins column because they play for the Browns and they play for the Bears. And who else are we talking about? What other?
Talking about
and
Deshaun
Watson. Watson's probably not going to get more than 5 wins. Has he been named the starter?
If he's not already named the starter, then he will certainly be the starter before season's end, because you cannot possibly tell me that Tom Savage is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and then
I'm sorry,
I
refuse to believe that.
And I feel like Watson is one of those quarterbacks. He just won a championship.
Yeah,
right, with
against Alabama.
Against Alabama. So I feel like he's ready to go. You put him in, he's not going to win you more than 6 games.
But Houston has that defense, man.
Right, but
Yeah.
I just don't feel
Number
like
one defense.
I don't feel like Houston's going to do it. They were in the playoffs last year, I know, but then they had
Brock Osweiler as a quarterback is the reason why they didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Who was just released yesterday
by the Browns.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. But,
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm going to say that Trubisky, Kaiser, and Watson will have good years, but they're not going to produce many wins, and they're not going to take you to the playoffs. But they will show promise, potential, and I look forward to watching them play.
Okay.
You had brought up Mahomes also, and I think he's going to sit a year.
He's
going to
sit a year, so
and then be their
I named
quarterback going forward.
Yeah, I named those 3 quarterbacks because I feel like they'll be starting soon, if not week 1.
Yeah, Jevon.
I'm gonna keep mine very simple. All those quarterbacks that you named, they talk so bad about this class that came out, but it's actually a pretty promising class, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm sticking with Kaiser as the difference maker, man. All because he's on a team that have ran through quarterbacks that were supposed to be great, and they never lived up to their potential.
Also, keep in mind that if he wins 2 games, then he has doubled their wins from last year.
Right. Didn't the Browns have RG3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they had
Who
RG3,
is done?
who was supposed to be promised and did not live up to his potential. Then they went and
Injuries.
got they went picked up sorry. I'm sorry, Icarus. I mean, they picked up that ridiculous salary of Brock Osweiler, brought him over there, and they were saying that he was going to be the veteran that they were going to put in. Hey, you take over the team. We're going to put the young man behind you, and you teach him what he needs to know. Well, as we all know, Brock Osweiler is not able to do that, and it did not come out that way. So here we are. Brock Osweiler is floating again. And I'm glad he floated out of Denver. I don't care how many Denver Bronco fans who loved him over there. I couldn't stand him. He held the ball too long. And he took too many sacks. But now he's gone. This young man has a chance to take this team, mold this team, and make this team his. The same way John Elway did with the Denver Broncos when he came to us. He took the team from day one and molded it to his team, and that's why he ended up getting 2 Super Bowls later on in his career. It took him 14 years, but he got it later on. I think Kaiser can do the exact same thing if he stay injury-free.
Are you saying that Kaiser will be able to bring a Super Bowl championship to Cleveland at some point?
He can if they give him the components. If they do what Denver did with John Elway.
Wow.
Even though they waited so late in Elway's career to do it, but they got Elway eventually what he needed. They built him a defense that could stop offenses, and they gave him what he needed on. They gave him a great running back who could carry the rock later on. It just took a long time. But they can do the Cleveland can do the same thing with this young man. Build a team around him. Don't give him a ridiculous salary. Just build a team around him.
I'll put it to you like this. If the Cleveland Browns make it to the Super Bowl, I'm talking any time in the next 10 years, and they play even my 49ers or my Steelers, I'm going to root for the Browns.
Right. You got to, right?
I mean, come
you,
on.
You have to. There's no...
The Browns.
It's old new blood is what you're talking about,
like,
basically.
The dogs,
And
baby.
Yeah, the classic underdog story
Yeah,
at that point. The
yeah.
Cleveland Browns. That's wild.
That'd be awesome, right?
Do you have anything else to add on the rookie class on the quarterbacks?
That's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to make sure that I got straight to the point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my whole thing. I want to get straight to the point. And Kaiser, I'm rooting for you, young man, because you with a horrible team.
I'm also rooting for the Browns. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
All right, we got
But I'm also rooting for my Broncos too, all because Trevor catch so much crap, man. I'm rooting for Trevor Siemian because he catching about as much crap as a quarterback can get, man. Everybody want Paxton Lynch, but I'm the one Bronco fan that say the hell with Paxton Lynch. Let's get rid of him. Let's go with Trevor Siemian because I think he's the quarterback of our future.
All right. What's next, TK?
All right, man. Which free agent will have the biggest impact on their new team? Jevon, I'm kicking it right back to you.
Oh, man, that's real easy. I can't think of his name, dude. I try to memorize it, but I cannot remember it for nothing. The guy the Browns let go, Joe
Hayden?
The DB, yes.
That's incredibly recent, yeah.
Yes, he is going to man. First off, Pittsburgh is already good, man. All they've been lacking is a back end.
You're right, yeah.
That's it.
Joe Hayden was a free agent for all of 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean you can just look at the Patriots-Steelers AFC Championship game from last year,
yes.
and you can see that the only thing the Steelers were missing on defense were the defensive backs.
That was all. Yeah. He's going to change that, man. Matter of fact, now I'm almost rolling with, because Todd picked Pittsburgh to go to the Super Bowl. Whew. I'd almost make that a little bit more possible. Mm-hmm. Now that you got somebody on the back end to make a quarterback hold that ball just that extra second so James Harrison can go ahead and put him through the floor.
Not only that, you talk about James Harrison, TJ Watt.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking great.
Dude, now Pittsburgh is scary. Once that back end, and he is the difference maker.
And then once they sign Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be...
Yeah, we're gonna get into that later on.
Yeah. We'll talk about Levy. I got some words for you, Levy. Just don't beat me up afterwards. But he's the difference maker in the free agency that I feel like he's gonna make that team just that much more better. They're already a good team as is, but he can make them Super Bowl worthy.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just gonna say this. I mean, there's a multitude of free agents. This was kind of a weaker free agency class in the NFL than compared to what we've had in some more recent years.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I mean, the sexy pick, mostly because of name recognition, seems to be Adrian Peterson going to the Saints or perhaps Eddie Lacy to the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. But look here. One of them is past his prime already.
Yeah.
And the other...
But that was a hell of a prime.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
And any man that can come back after a tear like that and do what he did, you know what I mean? Yes. I will never put anything past Adrian Peterson ever again.
You're right.
Never.
I mean, much love and respect to AP all day.
Much love, AP.
But But Eddie Lacy, he can even run behind a good line the last couple of years.
Yeah,
he couldn't put his cheeseburgers.
And now you want to tell me that he's supposed to, And now you want to tell me that he's going to sit there and be effective behind arguably the worst offensive line in the league in Seattle?
No way.
Give me a break.
Yeah, I don't.
Honorable mention. Speaking of lines, the Lions significantly upgraded the right side of their line by taking T.J. Lang away from the Packers and Ricky Wagner over at right tackle away from the Ravens. Now, granted, I do think they kind of overpaid for Wagner a little bit, but you pay that offensive line to help now the most highly paid player in the league.
Yeah,
that helps out a bunch, and it'll also help the running game with Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick, and Wagner.
Yeah.
But for me, Jay Cutler is the easy pick. The Miami Dolphins bringing him out of retirement.
I mean, was it like a 2-month retirement?
Yeah, thereabout. And
oh my God,
him having a history with Adam Gase, being relatively familiar with the playbook with him, I think that's going to be the biggest, the most notable free agent pickup of the season. He's still got a lethal arm. Could have a very resurgent year, and Miami should yet again contend for the playoffs in spite of New England being in the division. He's got Jay Ajayi to lean on in that backfield. He's got two very underrated receivers in Jarvis Landry, who a lot of people don't realize numerically is on par with Odell Beckham, even though he doesn't get near the notoriety that he deserves. And Devontae Parker, you watch out for him. Yeah. Seriously.
A couple of speedy receivers there.
Yeah.
Knight, me and you hardly ever disagree, but I'm gonna disagree with you on Jay Cutler because I always hated Jay Cutler. He excuse my language because we try to be friendly on this show, but he's a shitty quarterback. He's a shitty person. His line didn't even want to block for him over there in Chicago, bro.
Man.
They didn't even want to block for him in Chicago. And that's just, let's keep it going. We also got him out of Denver, too. You know what I mean? We didn't want him over there. We moved him around, too.
Right.
He's not a very good person, man. And that's not something that's just said by a few.
I'm not saying that he is.
And so, he goes over to Miami. He rubbed a couple of those offensive linemen the wrong way, and guess
like
what?
You're doing with me right now.
Yeah. Just like I just rubbed. He turns around and they don't block for him anymore, and then he becomes more of a hindrance to Miami than a help.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I say that he's not a good person. I don't know him, but what I'll say is he doesn't have a good attitude.
I'm just going off accounts of people who played with him.
He doesn't have a good football attitude. That's for sure. You can look at him on the sideline, and he just doesn't. It looks like he doesn't care. He's just
but so do Eli Manning. But we know Mr. Clutch do care.
I feel like Eli Manning. That's just like a condition or something. He's just got like. I just came up with this, and I'm very proud of it. He's got resting derp face. It's just whenever he's not thinking about it, and he's just resting his face, he just kind of looks a little derpy. But I'm gonna agree with Todd. I feel like Jay Cutler is a big pickup, and after the injury to Tannehill, the Dolphins had slim pickings, so they did have slim pickings. So they went with Jay Cutler, and that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say Jay Cutler is the biggest free agency pickup. I don't want him as the 49ers quarterback, but I'm glad he went somewhere, and I feel like they could do some damage with those two receivers.
Yes, I'll tell you what. I'll agree with Knight if those 2 months off helped him change his attitude.
It didn't.
Well, I'm just saying, if somehow he humbled himself and he become a better teammate in the locker room, yes, the Miami Dolphins will be a force to be reckoned with, and they have already shown that they can beat the Patriots.
Yeah,
they've already showed that. So if he can become a better teammate, his team will play for him, and when you make your team play for you, they will win for you. For sure. And that's all. That's all Jay Cutler has to do.
I like that.
Yeah,
we're going to move along on this. I'm going to go with some we're going to do whenever there's the start of a new season, be that in the NFL, the NBA, just whatever. Player award predictions. We're gonna give a brief explanation as to each one. And I was already talking about him. My breakout player is wide receiver with the Dolphins, Devontae Parker. Jay Cutler has already compared him to a faster version of Alshon Jeffrey. You know what he was able to do with the Bears. Parker's finally healthy, and now for once he has a true pocket passer to be able to deliver him the ball. My underachiever for this year, you had brought up brought him up earlier. I'm going to quarterback Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. And, I mean, it's all going to be defined by wins. That's what so many quarterbacks are judged by. But I do feel like he's going to have a down year, especially without a running game. Right. My MVP that I'm calling for this year is going to be quarterback Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys.
You're looking at me, or not even looking at me right now.
Bro. But hear me out. He's going to take his game to the next level this year. All right? He's going to tear the league apart.
I can see
Without Zeke Elliott in the first 6 games, he's not going to have any other choice. People are going to look at that as the season progresses.
They'll have to give it to him.
Rookie of the year, you're ready to chomp at the bit on that one. I can see you are. Rookie of the year, Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey. He is a true triple threat.
Triple threat.
Thank you.
That's hard to say.
It is
hard to
hard.
say.
As a matter of fact, you said true triple threat. So that's
That's 3 teams. There's your triple threat right there. But seriously, I mean, he can affect the game in the return game. You know, he's great as a running back.
Yeah.
And he's dynamic as a receiver out of the backfield. He's going to help Cam Newton kind of rebound from a very, very subpar season compared to what he did in his MVP year.
I feel like
it's going
it's
to
the
cause
same
matchup problems for him. Offensive Player of the Year, as much as it pains me to say it, I still have to go with Tom Brady. Quarterback of the New England Patriots hardly needs any introduction on that. He's still going to dominate the league, and they're still going to produce wins even without Edelman. And I wanted to go to you on this.
Yeah,
you did a little bit of research on how things went when Edelman was not in the lineup for him. I want to hear this.
Before we crown Mr. Brady the Offensive Player of the Year, let's say something. Without his buddy, his cushion Edelman, he went 3-4. Now he was 9-0 that same season when Edelman was playing, but as soon as he got injured, he went 3-4. Right? That's very significant for a Bronco fan like myself because of those 4 losses is the reason why. Well, those 4 losses plus that loss against Miami, the last season of the game, the last game of the season. Right. Sorry, they dropped to the 2nd seed. We moved up to the 1st seed. The Super Bowl 50 had to go through Denver. He came up there, he lost, and the rest is history. That's
Certainly
why I'm wearing this jersey right now.
Certainly noteworthy whenever you consider that the Patriots are going to have to deal with 16-plus
a whole
games
season without him. Without that cushion. Mm-hmm. But he still got that mutant over there. What's his name? Gronkowski?
Gronk, Gronkenstein.
Gronkenstein,
you always hate to see a player of that caliber injured like that.
Oh, man, big time.
Any player,
any player
regardless.
on any team, even if it's a team that you don't root for.
Even if it's a team that you just hate.
It took years. Like, I started thinking, do I want to say hate? I'm gonna
say hate. Hey man, look, I will not be going anytime. I will not be taking a trip to Massachusetts. Let's just put it that way, because I do hate you guys, team, and you're gonna hate me too.
Or Minnesota, right?
No, I actually made up for Minnesota. Minnesota, I love you guys, man. You gave me a great game, a great preseason game the other day, man. That was magnificent. That rookie quarterback you guys got over there.
That was
awesome.
Guys, that was a reference to Podcast 1, so
you
can watch that.
Definitely watch Podcast 1, man. But love you, Minnesota. I can't say the same to Massachusetts, though. Okay, let's keep going.
Anyhow, Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going with defensive end for the Raiders, Khalil Mack. He will have 20-plus sacks this year. I genuinely believe that he can even challenge the sack record in a single season held by Michael Strahan. I believe that's 22 and a half.
Yeah.
I believe he can eclipse that. That's what I'm thinking on everything.
Not bad.
Where that goes. Jevon, what are your picks on that, man?
Good God, man, you had to hit me. Okay, all right. Here we go, man. I didn't even really think this through. I tried to think it through, but it made my head. It made my head hurt, man. Like I came home from work last night and my brain was killing me. But this is what I got, right? Okay, so breakout player. I'm going with Trevor Siemian as my breakout player because of the slack that because of all the hate he's been getting. I think he's going to come out there, he's going to manage our offense very well, and he's going to do way better than people think he will. So I can see him being the breakout player. And matter of fact, he's going to get us to the playoffs. And you might look around, we may be in the AFC Championship. All right. Now, underachiever. Who do I got as underachiever? Oh, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler will be my underachiever. Yes, he will be. He's going to get over there, and he's going to end up being the same dude that he always have been. He's going to make his team hate him, and then Miami's going to fall to the wayside. It's going to be all Jay Cutler's fault. All right.
Wow. Okay.
MVP QB. This is finna hurt me to say, man. But I'm going with Big Derek Carr. Yes, I'm going with Derek Carr, man. He is healthy. He's healthy. He's throwing the ball like nobody's business, man. They are going to do very well. I can see the Raiders doing well. They will not get to the Super Bowl because they did not fix that secondary.
Agreed.
I'm telling you right now, they got to fix that secondary. If they don't, they're going to fall by the wayside. Now, let's keep going. What we at right now? What
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year is Kaiser. I'm going with Kaiser, man. Like my boy said, he may not get them astounding wins, but he's gonna put together a good enough season with his skills, with his ability to scramble and throw the ball. I think he's gonna put together a good enough season to pull off Rookie of the Year, man. Okay. He's gonna take that team on his back. All right, Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going with the quarterback from Tampa Bay.
Jameis Winston.
Okay. Yes. I'm going with him as the offensive player. He's in a league. He's in a division loaded with great quarterbacks. We're talking about Cam Newton. We're talking about Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. Yeah, he wants to show them, and I'm looking at what that is. A Hard Knock. I'm watching it, man. That dude wants to show how good he is, and he will. He's gonna eclipse them dudes, man. He's gonna show what he got. All right. Defensive Player of the Year. You already know who I'm going with. Big Von Miller. You know why I'm going with Big Von Miller? Because we can stop the run. And you know what that means? We can stop the run this year. We couldn't do it last year. We can stop the run this year. So you know what that means? Quarterback has to drop back and throw more. You're not going to have anyone to throw it to. We got the no-fly zone, baby. Von is going to flip you upside down when you drop back. His skills are better. They're not diminishing. He's getting in better shape. If you haven't noticed, he's in better shape. So I see him, and I actually see him breaking the record. Not your boy Khalil.
Josh?
All right. So here we go. I'm going to be way more wild with my picks.
Uh-oh.
But I feel like
that's why I love you.
These aren't unjustified. I'm going to go with. Can you give me the list here, TK?
Certainly.
All right. I'm going to go with MVP. I'm going to start with MVP first. It's going to be David Johnson of the Cardinals.
Wow. Okay, I like that.
I feel like he's going to have an even better season than he did last year.
Oh.
Because the Cardinals are not going to be they haven't been a passing team since Kurt Warner. And I feel like David Johnson is going to be the MVP. And he's also going to be the best and safest fantasy pick.
I like Carson Palmer. That's a hit, man.
I mean, Carson Palmer's been in the league. This will be his 15th season. He was the first overall pick by Cincinnati
in 2003.
In 2003. So that's my pick for that. What's the next thing, TK?
Well, you went out of order there, but
wait. Here, I'll just go with this.
Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with another running back. I'm going to say Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to be probably. I'll say he'll be the second best. But do they give the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year to the same?
Sometimes they do.
To the same person. Well, I'm still going to go with Bell. Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to agree with you, Von Miller, no doubt. That guy is a monster, and he comes up in the biggest games. Look what he did in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
they won that Super Bowl because of
Von Miller. Yeah. Well. I feel like Ware don't get enough credit too, because DeMarcus Ware definitely had his part in that.
He did, but I
time.
have never seen a defensive player dominate a Super Bowl like that.
He definitely dominated that Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. And I feel like he's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year.
I agree with you, big boy.
And I'll say, what's another thing here, TK? Underachiever. Who do I think's not going to live up to the hype? Oh boy. I would have to go with. I'm going to stay controversial.
Do it.
You think I'm going to say Dak Prescott? I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers. I feel like the Packers might miss the playoffs. I'm not going to give any explanation for that. That's just maybe what I want to feel inside, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Ooh, discount, double check. He better check that.
I'm going to go with a big run of running backs here. I feel like the offensive rookie of the year is going to be Cook from Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook. Okay.
And what's another thing that I need to do? Here?
Breakout player.
Yeah.
Breakout player. Oh boy, Mariota. I'm going to say Mariota's going to have an even better year than he did his past 2 seasons, and I feel like the Titans, like you said last week, are going to be the surprise of the season.
Yeah.
I feel
Watch that last week episode, man. It was really good.
Mariota.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we were talking about Le'Veon Bell earlier. I just got to ask, should the Steelers show Bell the money? Josh.
Yes.
Okay, no expounding. Okay. All right. Fine.
It needs no explanation.
It needs no explanation. Well, I'm going to give one anyway, all right?
That is my answer. That's all I'm going to say.
Look,
yes.
there's no running back that needs to be paid huge bucks anymore. Okay? It doesn't need to happen.
He's in
They're
his prime.
Easily replaceable.
Not him. He's in his prime,
Oh
TK.
my God. Okay. He's only played a full 16-game season once in his career. And even in that year, he was hurt early on in the playoff game. That was back in 2014. He's got issues where substance abuse is concerned. And I'm not talking necessarily about anything truly controversial. I'm more or less talking about PEDs and think kind of some more things that we were talking about briefly last week. Furthermore, he does want to. He's come out and say this. He wants to be paid as the top running back and as what a number 2 receiver should be paid.
Yeah.
Guys, no one's worth that. Simple.
Not a running
Simple
back.
as that. Jevon, close on this, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, baby. No running back deserves that kind of money, but he do deserve bread, though. He needs to get paid, but he don't need to get paid what he want to get paid. Just like I was saying about these quarterbacks, bro. You gonna get your money, man. Le'Veon, you are a difference maker. You were the difference maker in the Patriots game, the game against the Patriots. You going out with injury changed the tide of that game. So So all I feel is that, yes, you're going to get the money. You're going to get the money, but not what you're asking, man. They're going to pay you. Just chill out, baby. Don't quit wanting them big old figures, man.
They had presented a very, very good offer. His agent had even accepted the offer.
Yeah.
And Le'Veon said, no way.
That's ego right now. It's going to calm down a little bit. He's going to take the bread.
He needs to.
He's going to take it. But
Also,
we talking about money. Can I talk about money, Mayweather? Is it
yes.
okay?
Yes.
Real quick.
means.
I just remembered my defensive rookie of the year is going to be Reuben Foster of the San Francisco 49ers. Go ahead, talk about boxing.
I love it, man, when we pick people from our team. Let's go to Money Mayweather, because we talking about money, and I like that. I like money, even though I don't have any.
Is he considered the GOAT now that he is 50-0?
Heck no, man. You don't. Just because you broke Marciano's record by beating a dude who's not even a real boxer doesn't make you the GOAT. You know what I mean? The GOAT is being undefeated, and then you stand up for what you believe in the boxing league, take 3 years off your career, off your prime, and then you come back and you still win the title right back from arguably the hardest hitting boxer of all time, George Foreman, with a style that never been seen before called the rope-a-dope. That's called Muhammad Ali, baby. That's the greatest of all time. He always will be. You know what I mean? All I've ever seen Money Mayweather stand up for is money. It's more to life than money.
Hence the nickname.
Yes, it's more to life than money. Muhammad Ali knew that. That's what Muhammad Ali fought for. He didn't just fight for himself. He fought for African Americans who was being treated unjustly at that time period, and it costed him 3 years of his career. Muhammad Ali, rest his soul, I think he's the greatest boxer of all time, and he always will be. The style that these guys are using now today, he invented it. You know what I mean? So get up off his back. Sorry, Money. I understand that you think you're the greatest of all time, but I don't. Go ahead, Mr. Knight. Tell me what you think.
Floyd Mayweather is, I think you could probably say, the greatest fighter of this generation.
I can give you
Okay?
that. I'll give you that.
But I do not believe that he is the greatest of all time. And and I'm going to touch on some of the some boxers from the past just to kind of refresh people's memory a little bit on some things.
Do it, brother. Do
Okay?
it.
If you look at the 50-0 record, all right, the first guy that I'm going to bring up to you is going to be Rocky Marciano.
Who fought at 170 something at times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little guy.
Yeah, his unofficial weight was 188.
Exactly.
All right.
Look at that.
And this is for a heavyweight.
A heavyweight fighting
there's something to be said
200-pound
about
guys
that.
now. Yes. Okay.
But whenever he retired, he was 49-0.
Yes.
Okay. Now he did think about making a comeback fight to reach that 50-0 that Mayweather had reached just over the last week.
I bet it wasn't an MMA fighter.
No, not hardly.
Okay.
But he did decide against that.
Right.
And of course, any chances of him deciding to pursue any further comeback attempt ended whenever he was killed in a plane crash in 1969.
Yeah.
Marciano did hold the title from 1952 to 1956.
It's a long time.
It was.
Against great fighters
Yeah.
like Joe Louis, and he had some good fighters. in there.
Yes.
Yes.
And you mentioned Joe Louis. Joe Louis was also the guy that held the heavyweight title the longest. Because he had won the title in 1937, and he held it for 12 straight years. Wow. He didn't lose it until 1949.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber.
The Brown Bomber.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you have Mike Tyson, who you can make a point of being the hardest hitter since Joe Louis.
Vicious.
There's a lot of people. I mean, I know yourself. You had mentioned George Foreman.
I did mention Foreman. Yeah.
But Tyson was an even harder hitter than what Foreman was.
Foreman
had heavy hands.
Yeah, he had heavy hands.
Yeah.
Tyson
hit with anger
you
whenever he hit.
Yeah, he hit with
it
a lot of
wasn't
anger.
just like a club. It was like a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
mean, he was knocking people out early on. I mean, most of his fights, he was ending them in 2 rounds.
I think a lot of that was also intimidation factor as well.
There is a lot of that to consider.
Yeah. Foreman just knocked you out. I mean, there was really no intimidating factor.
Yeah.
He didn't do a lot of talking. He didn't do a lot of ugly looks. He just hit you and you went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're just talking about, Tyson on that,
Yeah, Tyson was on the pedestal.
Back in the 80s.
He would have been the greatest of all
devastating.
time. Yeah.
Even going back to the early 90s. I mean, there was...
Still, yeah.
Yeah. And there was only 2 guys that were not intimidated by Mike Tyson. One of them being James Buster Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. Who nobody in their right mind could have predicted that. I would have loved to have been old enough to have bet money on that.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be sitting here making video podcasts right now. I'd be rolling in some Le'Veon Bell. But
I remember that fight. I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
That was a
I
shock.
think his mother passing away really had a lot to do with the way he fought Mike.
yes.
I think that because his mom passed away right before that.
Oh, okay.
And he
Wow.
went in there and he fought not just for himself, but for his mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the other guy, Evander Holyfield,
Yo.
who does not get near the credit that he deserves.
A
but
warrior.
He was responsible for taking out Tyson twice. There's a lot of people that can sit there and point to the ear bite fight.
Yeah.
But he was destroying Mike in that fight as well. And Tyson didn't know where else to turn.
Right.
But Holyfield is the only fighter to ever win the heavyweight championship 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about him amongst the all-time greats.
And also, I want to talk about his weight. He also fought at 198. He was fighting dudes 260. When he fought Lennox Lewis was 265.
Yeah.
198-pound dude fighting a 265 man.
Right. But I'm still in agreement with you. Muhammad Ali, God rest his soul,
Greatest
or in
of
his
all
case, Allah rest his soul. But he is still the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really, really hard to make a case otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about him losing 3 years of his prime.
Yeah.
Because of his stance against the Vietnam War.
Yes.
He
was undefeated.
He fought against great fighters repeatedly.
Amazing fighters. That he underweighted too.
Yeah. And arguably the greatest fighting duo that you can possibly think of, Ali and Joe Frazier. I mean, Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe
The
Frazier.
fight of the century, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Oh my goodness.
The Thriller in Manila.
Thriller
Exactly.
and Manila.
The list goes on and
Wow.
on and on.
I have all that on VHS, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible whenever you think about the different things that Ali was able to accomplish, and it's just unfortunate the way that he lived the rest of his life,
Right.
because of the accumulated
Parkinson's
damage
disease.
that he had taken inside of the ring.
I had an uncle that passed away from Parkinson as well. Yeah.
But man, I just gotta say here that it's really, really difficult not to talk so much in depth about Ali when you're talking about the greatest of all time and everything.
Right.
And you can make it not only a case as the greatest fighter of all time, but maybe even the greatest athlete of all time as well.
Michael
Certainly
Jordan.
the most impactful.
Oh, yeah.
Socially. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no question about that.
Cultural icon.
Yes, no question.
I mean, he started the boxer training underneath water. Ali used to go underwater, and that's where he used to practice his swings.
Those pictures of him underwater.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And another
Iconic.
great fighter actually followed that same process. Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Roy Jones used to train underneath water. I mean, that was one of the things that he learned from following, Muhammad Ali, man. Like, hey, look, I can get my speed up if I go underneath water and swing.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Punching against the resistance.
Exactly,
Correct.
man.
Yeah.
I love Muhammad, man.
A lot of
R.I.P.
different things that were very unorthodox about what he did. But guys, that's all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Just gotta say, man, Jevon, definitely enjoyed it yet again. Josh, thank you for being on the show. Also our producer and director, thank you yet again. Love of my life, Hazar.
Oh.
And guys, next week starts the NFL season. We'll be back with some juicy topics next week. Better believe that.
Oh, I miss football.
It's coming back.
It's back.
Yes. On behalf of Jevon Superman Miller and Josh L., I'm Todd Knight. Sports at Night. Real fans, real talk. Good night, everybody.
Go 49ers.